Celtic lose again, Aberdeen secure third place, and it looks like Jim Goodwin is going to have another lonely walk across a pitch with his little bag, because Dundee United are all but relegated. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's been a pretty crazy season, and tonight did not disappoint. It's the Spfl Scottish Premiership review show. And what a load of big results we had tonight, man. Aberdeen smashing St Mirren. Dundee United getting smashed. Celtic losing again. Celtic falling apart. With Rangers losing a point in the dying moments. And then with a 6-goal thriller in Dingwall. We also had a game against Livy and Motherwell that absolutely nobody cared about. It was the only game that didn't really have anything with importance on the line. And funnily enough, it was the game that was the shittest. You know, there's just not a lot happening in it. But yeah, we've got lots to talk about here. Dundee United getting relegated is pretty big. Now, they're not mathematically down. They still have a chance. But, I mean, Carol Fordeman could find the numbers to mathematically put Dundee United down. They have no chance. They would need to win their final game by like 7 or 8 goals if they want to survive in this league, and that's not going to happen against an in-form Motherwell. They would also need Ross County to lose. Let's just face it, Dundee United, for like the second time now, and I don't know, it's not back-to-back seasons, but I think it's, 4 seasons? Anyway, it wasn't that long ago they were relegated, and now they are getting relegated again, so sucks for them. I believe they have the 6th highest wage bill in the Scottish Premiership by quite a distance. You shouldn't have the 6th highest wage bill and be getting relegated. That should not be happening. And I mean, who knows? I know Jack Ross was sacked. I know he had a lot of poor results, but you have to wonder, maybe if they kept Jack Ross, could he have turned things around? Was he given enough time? Liam Fox was then brought in. He was probably given too much time after having a couple of decent results initially coming in. You know, he just kind of fell apart, and he took them down. After getting them up, he kind of took them back down to the bottom of the table. And then we had Jim Goodwin, who came in. First couple of results were poor. Then, not so long ago, went on a 3-game winning streak, and you'd thought Jim Goodwin done enough. I think we'd all thought that Jim Goodwin had kept them up. But it turns out 4 defeats in a row has proven that otherwise, and Dundee United are now all but down. Celtic, since they've won the league, since Carter Vickers has been out injured, they've just completely went to shit, proving that Carter Vickers is the standout man in that defence. I'm not for 1 minute saying they're a one-man team, but from a defensive standpoint, you take Carter Vickers out, and they are nowhere near the same side they are with him in there. Aberdeen, after a poor post-split, they got a big win over St Mirren. And that's probably where we're going to start. Yeah, we'll start talking about Aberdeen, sure. Why not? Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 0. Not the result I want as a Hearts fan. I was obviously hoping St Mirren could take something off Aberdeen tonight, but they were pretty rampant. 3 goals. St Mirren did go down to 10 men, but Aberdeen knew that a win tonight would probably guarantee them third place. The only thing that could prevent them from getting third if they won tonight was Hearts winning in Ibrox, and we know that's a difficult thing to do. And it did prove to be too difficult for Hearts. So Aberdeen, with a 3-0 win, secure themselves European group stage football, which I believe is like a minimum of about £3 million. So what a season this has been for Aberdeen. It started pretty well. Jim Goodwin came in, it started pretty well. They found themselves sitting in third place as the World Cup came around, but I don't know, man, ever since the World Cup finished, they came back and they went on what a horrible run of results they went on, and the worst one was probably the defeat to Darvel in the Scottish Cup. They got rid of Jim Goodwin, Barry Robson took over interim manager, and he done such a good job, including 8 wins in a row, that they decided to give him the job permanent, and he has rewarded Aberdeen and they've rewarded him, I guess. So it's a partnership that works, and now he is the permanent manager. He's the new manager going into next season, and you feel like it's a big rebuild season for Aberdeen. I know they've came back, I know they got third place, but their squad is reliant on a lot of loan players. Plus, you're looking at it, and there could be some players that might not be there next season. I'm looking at Duke for one, and I cannot see Duke being an Aberdeen player for next season. So it's going to be a big summer for Aberdeen, but at least they know they've guaranteed European money, so they've got money to spend, and they've got money to use in this rebuild. So it will be interesting. It'll be a big season for Barry Robson to try and get Aberdeen going in the right path. As for St Mirren, you know, they did do well to get into the top 6. I think it's their first top 6 finish since, 1875, not 1870, fuck me, was it 1987? I think it's 1987. It's the first time they've finished in the top 6 in a long, long time. But unfortunately for them, they just haven't really been able to find results in the split. Tonight, they went a goal down, they went a man down. That was pretty much the end for them. It's still been a good season, don't get me wrong. But they are going to finish 6th, and they are going to finish without European football, which will be a big disappointment for them. They could have done with that, considering, how poor the club is, how skint they are. They could have really, really done with some form of European action next season, but it wasn't to be. But Stephen Robinson's still done a great job, so you can't really say anything bad about Stephen Robinson. He's done a fantastic job there, but it'll be no European football for the Saints. Moving on to Dundee United Kilmarnock. This one shocked me. We know that Dundee United really needed to win this game. They were 3 points behind Kelly. Kilmarnock's away form has been abysmal this season. I think the only other away win Kilmarnock had going into this game was against Hearts. And we all know Hearts were on a really bad run during that period. But no, they got a 3-0 win tonight, smashed Dundee United at Tannadice, and it's a win that, let's be honest, it does see Dundee United go down. Dundee United will not come back from this. They cannot stay up now. It would take a miracle, and it's just not going to happen. So Dundee United are down. Kilmarnock, they can guarantee that they will not finish last, but they could still be caught by Ross County for that 11th place. So Kilmarnock will still need to do the job against Ross County, and that's just going to be like a straight shootout in the final game of the season. Hopefully they televise that game, because it's a pretty big game. It's going to decide who finishes 10th and who finishes 11th. So I would like to see that game on telly. But Derek McInnes, he's done an okay job. He's secured Premiership football for Kilmarnock for next season, and now they can look to build on that. I personally, at the start of the season, expect a little bit more for Kelly. I thought Kelly could push and make it into the top 6, but I also felt Dundee United could make top 6, so obviously I was fucking wrong. I had both of these sides making top 6, but in the end it looks like they're both going to finish bottom 3, so yeah, no, big win for Kelly tonight. And I think next season will be the season where Derek McInnes looks to push on and see if Kilmarnock can make a bid for a top 6 finish. But big win for them tonight. And Derek McInnes he's done a good job. When he first came into Kelly, it didn't even look like Kelly were going to get automatic promotion. They were trailing Arbroath, but he's turned things around. And I think he deserves credit. I think Derek McInnes is a good manager. I don't know if a decent manager. He's at least a decent manager. We'll give him credit. He's at least decent. Moving on. Hibs 4, Celtic 2. What has happened to Celtic? First of all, big result for Hibs, and they needed it to try and catch Hearts and to try and hold on to any chance of 4th spot. So it's a big win for Hibs. But come on, Celtic, they have picked up 5 points out of their last possible 15. They've only won 1 game in their last 5 matches. They've conceded 9 goals in their last 3 games. 4 against Hibs, 2 against St Mirren, 3 against Rangers. I mean, what has happened here to Celtic? Without Carter Vickers, they are abysmal. And people will say that Starfelt is great. Starfelt is just as good as Carter Vickers. People say that Starfelt is the second best defender in the league. I mean, I totally disagree. And I know he hasn't played every single minute since Carter Vickers went out, but he's played most minutes, and he's just not that good. If we're being honest, Carter Vickers makes him look good, in my opinion. I think Celtic, they can win the league. Obviously, they can win the league with a Carter Vickers and Starfelt partnership. Obviously, that's undeniable. When Carter Vickers is there, Starfelt looks good. But if they want to be a force in Europe, in my opinion, they need to get someone who's equally as good as Carter Vickers, in my opinion, at that centre-back role. In terms of right-backs, I mean, Anthony Ralston, for a while, especially more last season, he was shown that he was pretty good. He did up his level to a performance I didn't think he had, but this season he's got a reduced amount of game time. And I think performances have shown that his levels have dropped big time. Bernabei is just not good enough. I don't think Bernabei is good enough to be a Celtic player at all. He's probably not even good enough to be the second choice left back, to be honest. I think Ange Postecoglou has got, I'm not going to say he's got a big summer, because they're still the best team in Scotland, and I think at the moment they're favourites to win the title next year. No one would deny that. But I think defensively they need to improve. If they keep their first front four, if they keep back four, if they keep their the first choice back four, I mean, it is a pretty good back four of Taylor, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Alistair Johnston. But I mean, you get a couple of injuries and you have to bring in the replacements, and Celtic have shown that that back four is not very good. So, yeah, big win for Hibs and a bad defeat for Celtic. And the gap now between Celtic and Rangers down to 7 points. And it's strange because a lot of people have said how Michael Beale sucks and how Michael Beale are crap and how Rangers are crap, and how Rangers are nowhere near Celtic and how the Rangers team is abysmal, this and that. Yet Michael Beale has reduced the gap since he came in. So if Michael Beale's a crap manager and if Rangers have a crap team, then what does that say about Celtic? I mean, Celtic can't be that good there if Michael Beale has brought the gap from 9 points down to 7. And Celtic fans will protest that the league's over and they've had nothing to play for, which you could make that case, I agree, but at the same time, if Celtic have nothing to play for, then Rangers have nothing to play for, because Rangers can't be caught and they can't catch Celtic. So technically Rangers have had the exact same thing to play for that Celtic have had to play for, yet they have actually started improving over recent weeks and they've brought the gap down. So I'm not saying it's worrying, I'm not saying Celtic should panic, but they're still the best team in the league, I believe. But, I mean, next season, I thought it was a foregone conclusion that they'd win the league, but after these last couple of weeks, I'm not so sure. I'd actually give Michael Beale's Rangers a decent chance of putting in a successful title bid next season. So we'll see. I'd say it's like 60-40 Celtic at the moment, but I mean, that's a lot closer than I had it like a month ago. A month ago, I thought it was like 85-15, but no, I mean, Celtic without Carter Vickers have dropped off massively and Rangers have improved a lot. Since Michael Beale got Morelos and Kent out of the team, players that aren't going to be there next season, the new guys that he's brought in, the guys that are going to have a future at Rangers, or at least the guys that are fighting for a future at Rangers, they've improved massively. So, yeah, interesting to see what happens. Livy Motherwell, I mean, who cares? It was 1-1. The battle for 7th place. The position that means jack shit in the league, really. I predict that Livy would win this one by 2-1. I was close, but I wasn't close enough. Kevin Van Veen scored again. I mean, Kev does what Kev does. Kevin Van Veen scores whenever he wants, and he scored again tonight. So, I mean, he's been a fantastic player for Motherwell. If he stays at Motherwell next season, then I think they can challenge for a European spot, but I don't think he will. I think he'll be away, so yeah, Motherwell will have a hard time replacing him, definitely. Moving on to the game at Ibrox, it was Rangers 2, Heart of Midlothian 2, and I'd just like to say rest in peace Tina Turner. Turns out she passed away tonight at the age of 83, so yeah, simply the best. What a song that is. But tonight, Rangers were not simply the best. They were held by Hearts, and a pretty good game, to be honest. I mean, Hearts came out, first half, started off the better side. Shankland scored a goal that was given offside, then VAR corrected it. I thought it was clearly onside, so I don't know why it was given offside originally, but at least they got the correct decision. Shankland probably should have they had a better chance to make it 2-0 before the break, but Shankland under hit his pass, the layoff to Devlin, and then Cantwell basically ran up the pitch and took advantage of some horrible defending for Hearts. Made it 1-1. And then a mix-up at the start of the second half made it 2-1 Rangers. Then Rangers took over. Rangers were the better side in the second half. Really should have probably got a third or fourth goal. They had chances. They had Morelos, Sakala, Matondo. There was multiple players creating multiple chances, but Rangers didn't take them. And then Carrion Kuhl snatched a late draw for Hearts. Would I say it's a fair result? Possibly. I mean, Rangers overall were the better side. But, I mean, you look at the 2 goals, they were gifted to Rangers by Hearts, so I'd say a draw is probably fair. Doesn't really do much for either team, though. Rangers wanted to win to try and get the gap down to Celtic even more. Hearts needed to win to keep third place alive. They didn't do it. So now, all Hearts can do now is secure 4th place in the final game of the season against Hibernian. And in Dingwall, it finished Ross County 3, St Johnstone 3. St Johnstone were winning this game. I believe they were 2-0 up, and then Ross County all of a sudden brought it back to 2-2, and we thought it was going to finish 2-2, but then Ross County went 3-2 ahead, and that's a result that would have mathematically put Dundee United down, would have gave them 0 chance of survival on the last day, but a late St Johnstone goal made it 3-3, and it now means that Ross County are only 3 points ahead of Dundee United, so they can be caught. It's very, very unlikely. You would need a minor miracle. It would probably be the biggest miracle I've seen in my lifetime in Scottish football if Ross County actually end up going down and they get caught by Dundee United, but Ross County knew with the result going against Dundee United tonight, a draw would have pretty much kept them up, and that's what they've got. So Ross County, in my opinion, will at least minimum be finishing in 11th spot. And if we look at the table, this is how it looks. After 37 games played, Celtic on 96 points actually, not 69. They've got more points than that. Come on, give them credit. I mean, if Carter Figures wasn't a Celtic player for the whole season, then maybe they'd have 69, but no, they have 96. Rangers, 7 points behind on 89. Then you got Aberdeen on 57. It kind of just, it does show a gulf, doesn't it, really? Aberdeen, 32 points behind, man. That's too big a gap. The third place team in Scotland shouldn't be 32 points behind Rangers. I mean, it wasn't that long ago Aberdeen were finishing ahead of Rangers. So, I mean, what has happened? And I know Rangers have got better, and that was always going to happen with more seasons in the division, but, I mean, come on. 32 points is way too much. Hearts now 4 behind Aberdeen. They cannot catch Aberdeen, but Hibernian 2 points behind Hearts can catch them. It would take a win in the final game of the season, but I'm sure Hibs will be going to Tynecastle looking to do just that. St Mirren, unfortunately, they will end the season in 6th, and they might even end the season with less points than Motherwell and Livingston, but top 6, still a good season for them. But I think they'll just be disappointed that the results have dropped off a lot, and, you know, they probably think that they had a good chance of European football. So did Livingston, to be fair. They had a good chance of European football as well, but just too many poor results towards the end. Bottled it. Got Motherwell in 47, Livingston in 46. St Johnstone, as we know, are safe. They can't be caught by any of the teams in a relegation or relegation playoff spot. However, they could be caught by Kilmarnock, but it's a similar situation to Dundee United catching Ross County. You would need a massive turnover in terms of goals for Kilmarnock to catch St Johnstone for the 9th spot. Then we've got Ross County in 11th. They play Kilmarnock on the final day. Now, Ross County have the better goal difference, so if they do beat Kilmarnock, they will finish above them. Simple as that. So really, it's a straight shootout. If Ross County beat Kelly, they go ahead of them. If they don't, then they don't. And Dundee United in 12th place, 3 points behind County, minus 8 goals. Now, I mean, Dundee United don't need to win 8-0. Of course, Dundee United could win, let's say, 4-0, and Ross County could lose 4-0. That would, but they need to make up 8 goals, and no matter what way you look at it, I just don't see it happening. I think Dundee United, at best, I think the absolute at most they can hope for is that Kilmarnock beat Ross County by maybe 2 goals, 3 at an absolute push, and then they have to win their last game by 5 or 6. But even then, that's the best case scenario for Dundee United, and I just do not see it happening because they're taking on the best team in the bottom 6, Motherwell. So Dundee United, guys, I believe are down. Doesn't look like we're going to get a Dundee derby next season. I was going to say looking forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to it. That's a lie, but I think it does improve Scottish football a wee bit. You know, having the Dundee fixture, the Dundee derby in there, I think is one of the better fixtures in Scottish football. I mean, I think Dundee United versus Dundee is just more appealing than Dundee United versus Ross County, or Dundee versus Ross County even. But, you know what, I'm not too bored. Dundee United will be going down to the Championship, and I mean, the Championship could be a good division next season. We've got Dundee United going down, possibly Kilmarnock and Ross County going down. You've got Dunfermline coming up, Airdrie coming up. You've got the likes of Inverness in there, who were pretty good. We'll see if Ayr can get back to their best. It'll be interesting to see what Queen's Park do. The Championship, I mean, it was great this season, and it could be great again next season. But that is it, guys, for the Scottish Premiership review show. Celtic will win the league. They've been the best team. They deserve it. However, their form over like the past 5-6 games has been a bit dodgy. They will need to sort that out. Aberdeen, 3rd place, guaranteed European football. Good for them. And Dundee United, not a good night for them. Dundee United are going down. And Jim Goodwin, will he get the job? Probably not. I don't see Jim Goodwin staying as Dundee United manager, but I guess we'll find out, guys. I'll keep you updated if Dundee United decide to give him the job, if they decide to not give him the job. Would Jim Goodwin want to take the job in the Scottish Championship? And would Dundee United want him? Would the fans want him? I don't know. If I was Jim Goodwin, I would probably take it. I mean, it's not looking good for him. He got sacked by Aberdeen after a horrible run. And I know I'm not really blaming him for taking Dundee United down, but he did get them in a position where he could save them, and then he just lost 4 games in a row. So I think for Jim Goodwin's CV, I don't think he's going to get a better job than Dundee United. I would take them in the Championship and then just have faith that you're going to bring them back up. If I was Jim Goodwin, that's what I would do. If Jim Goodwin walks away from Dundee United, is he getting a job in the Premiership after his last 2 managerial results? I don't think so. So if I was him, I'd stay at Dundee United. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one. What a night of Scottish football. Can't wait for match day 38. Should be good. I'll catch you then. Make sure you subscribe to the Twitter as well, by the way. Post it on the community. So, got a brand new Fog Football Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter, and we will be tweeting lots of Scottish football updates. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.